Hello everybody. I want to make sure everything's working before we start. I think the audio is working. I'll just go check. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Leeds fans are in absolute meltdown. Nothing new, is it? Nothing new. Everything working? Yep, the audio's working. We should be good. Yep, Leeds fans are in an absolute meltdown again. I mean, it's nothing new really. Like, let's be honest. The meltdown has begun again. Basically over some things that have happened in the last day, especially with the Longstaff stuff. And of course, I made a video talking about Longstaff and how he, has been rejected by Newcastle, which was the third bid. And yeah, it's kind of, I think everything's kind of gone together for Leeds fans to be absolutely upset. So that's happened. So if I can bring you to the screen, just give me a moment. So yeah, it's begun. It's absolutely begun, Leeds fans. We're back here again. We're absolutely back here. Let me just bring this up to here. Oh, I'll make this a bit smaller. So, of course, this is what kind of started, or like this is part of it. Of course, when we were linked with Sadiki and everything a while ago, and that we lodged, Leeds United have not lodged a bid, and Joe Donoghue tweeted out that we didn't lodge a bid. And then, of course, after that, Sadiki has done an interview somewhere. I don't know where he said this. I don't know where he said this. I legit couldn't find. So if anyone knows where he said this, let me know. But yeah, he's come out and said, I only spoke with people from Sunderland, Frankfurt, and Leeds, who have also submitted a bid after we basically said we didn't submit a bid. So I think that's where a lot of people are coming into, oh my God, the club, they've lied to us, and they've lied to us again. But yeah, it's annoying, isn't it, when things like this happen and people think, like, oh, but they've lied again because they said we didn't put a bid in. But the club only puts out, the thing is, the club's only going to put out, right? The club's only going to tell people to put out things that they want to put out. So if there's things they don't want to put out, they're not going to say it. I understand people are mad at the whole, we said we didn't put a bid in and then we actually did submit a bid. But it doesn't really matter because we weren't going to get Sadiki because Sunderland put in a bigger bid. So it wouldn't have mattered. What I think's happened is we put a bid in. Sunderland have put a bid in for way more. We've said, shit, we don't want to go in again. That's way too much money. We don't want to pay that much money for Sadiki. We don't want to pay that much money for Sadiki. And basically after that, what's happened is the club said, just tell them we didn't put a bid in. Tell them we didn't put a bid in. Probably not thinking that Sadiki would come out and say something like this. I mean, I understand Leeds fans are a bit mad about it, but I'm calm for me. Like, I'm calm currently right now, more than a lot of Leeds fans. If you've seen Twitter, Twitter's over the last days pretty much blown up, basically, which is great. It's happened again. And for me, going into the season, I'm still confident that we will stay up, and I'm confident with everything. And yeah. What was I going to look up next? And then, yeah, so I understand the whole Sunderland thing. I get people are mad because Sunderland are putting in, they're getting players. They're spending money. But, yeah, this actually came out yesterday. If we can bring this up. Let me just give me a moment. Yeah, let's bring this up right here. So this came out. This has come out despite genuine interest and some approaches to explore terms of a deal. George's Mikautadze transfer currently appears too expensive for Sunderland. The Black Cats have a 20 million budget for their striker, while Leon would only consider opening talks starting from 30 million. So basically, they're not going to be able to get him because they can't spend the money because they spent it all in other positions. And I don't know if it's the thing about these people are saying that of like Sunderland has spent that much money, they can't spend this much money in this position. But their transfer strategy the whole time before the season start could be legit. We only want to spend 20 million max on a striker. That could be their transfer business, and they wanted to spend more in the midfield than the striker because they need to upgrade that midfield after selling Bellingham and stuff. So they probably wanted to upgrade that midfield as much as they could. Maybe the striker, they're not wanting to spend a lot of money, and that could be the case. Like a lot of Leeds fans are saying, "Oh, look, see, because they can't spend much more money. They're skint now. They can only spend 20 million on a striker." But maybe that whole thing is they're not willing to spend 30 plus million on a striker. Maybe they want to spend 20 million. Like they have the money to spend over 30, but they only want to spend 20. So that's another thing you could see. but it looks like he's not going to be at Sunderland. So this is actually a striker that I've seen Leeds United fans want. I've not seen many links with Leeds currently. Like, I've not seen many links, but he's a striker that I've kind of looked at and said, yeah, probably a starter for us, definitely. He'll definitely be a starter for us. I think it's going to be harder now, the fact that Lyon, are going to stay in the French division, the first division, Ligue 1. Yeah, they're going to stay in Ligue 1, basically. So I think that's kind of, when that came out, it's a bit like they're staying in Ligue 1, so it's going to be hard to get some of their players. It's going to be, harder than what it would have been, because we could have just went, well, you're in the second division, we'll take some of your players. But yeah, it's not going to be as easy anymore. I would take him at Leeds United. This is his stats, basically. If we can look here, this season he played 47 games, 34 in the league. He's played 2,200 minutes, scoring 17 goals and getting 9 assists. So he's had a great season with Lyon. I mean, if you look at the previous couple of seasons, he's a player that doesn't get injured and plays. He's a player that doesn't get injured. I mean, that's what we need from our striker, someone who's available and good. Because in my opinion, Piro's not good enough, and Bamford's not available enough. So it's kind of, we got the two. We got Piro, who in my opinion is not good enough for the Premier League, and Bamford, who's kind of an injured player who I think's better suited to the Premier League than Joel Piro. But the thing is, he's not going to probably stay fit. We can't. I'm not saying he won't stay fit, but he's not reliable to stay fit. So that's kind of come out with this. But yeah, I would take him. 47 games played this season. As I said, 2,200 minutes, 17 goals, 9 assists. He's had a great season, scoring 11 goals and 6 assists in the league. Playing in the Europa League, getting 4 goals and 3 assists. Yeah, that's massive in my opinion. Playing in Europe, I always want us to sign, since we're in the Premier League, sign players with European experience, players that have played in the Europa League, players that have played in the Champions League. These type of players, in my opinion, are very good for us to sign. I like signing these type of players that have actually played in Europe. I think having that European experience is massive, in my opinion. Yeah, he also played in the Europa League again the season before. He only played 23 minutes, so he didn't play much. In Ligue 1 the season before, he got 22 games with 1,963 minutes played, scoring 14 goals and getting 4 assists. So yeah, another good season, basically. And then the previous season before that, he had an absolutely incredible season. 38 games played, 3,139 minutes, 23 goals, 8 assists. He's not really had a bad season. Like, even this season where he played 29 games, 2,302 minutes, 9 goals, 1 assist. He's not had a bad season. That was when he was in the Pro League and he first came to Ligue 1. But like, he's not had a bad season. Like, if you look at it, he's not had a bad season in his career, and he's the type of player that I would like us to sign. He's a striker that I think would be good enough for us to be our starting number 9. You look at that, you put him up front as our starting number 9. I would be very, very happy with that. I look at other options like Beto, and I look at Muniz, who I think is going to be way too expensive for how good I think. I think he's a good player, but I think he's way overpriced for how much they want. They want 50 plus million or 40. What is it like? Yeah, they want over 50 million for him. I don't think he's worth that. I just don't think he's worth that. I don't think Muniz is worth 50 million. Beto, I don't mind Beto. I would like Beto, but I mean, he's just a better option. he's just a better option than Beto. I would rather sign a striker that is better, but also not too expensive. Like 50 million for Muniz is ridiculous. I think Beto, if we sign one of these two, if we sign him or Beto, I'll be happy. At the moment, I mean, I don't know who else we're really linked with strikers wise that I'll be confident with. They're probably the two. We ain't in a meltdown. It's just an overreaction. I mean, have you seen Twitter? I mean, Twitter's a bit of a There's been a bit of a meltdown on Twitter. Plenty of time left. There's only going to be backlash if Leeds yo-yo. I blame JT Life for airing his concerns about the 49ers. No, I'm fine. Like, I'm pretty calm at the moment, because the only problem for me is as it gets closer day by day to the scum game, I am going we're getting closer to the end of we're getting close to the start of preseason. You do want some players in before the start of preseason and all that, and I do understand people. I understand that frustration for some people about the whole we want players in before the scum game, because you want to see, when in preseason you want to see new faces. You want to see new faces in the team at the start of preseason, and it might not happen. I only do YouTube. Yeah, I mean, JT's fine. I like JT. I like his content. I think it's very good. But yeah, I understand people's concerns. Joe as well. Just Joe is also another pundit that has concerns. He's not they're not meltdowns. It's more concerns about what could happen, because we're not saying that it's a thing of like, oh, we're done, we're not signing any more players, it's all over. But it's one of those things of it could happen where we could sign nobody or sign little two players, and I'll get worried as we get closer to the season. I understand that we got over a month till the season starts and all that, and it's one of those things where you want to see, you want to see new faces start in preseason. You want to see you don't want to see Pirro starting up front, and you don't want to see Aronson in the number 10. You don't want to see these type of things. You don't want to see the same people in the same position. You want to see the new faces. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Mecha gets a start in one of the preseason games. I would like to see how good he is. I don't know where we'll play Mecha actually. I don't know who will actually, because I'm looking at Mecha right, and he can play on the left as well. So I'm wondering if the club's looking at that as like another option on the left side. I know we shouldn't, but I can see us doing that and looking at him as another option that can play on the left side and start on the left, or come off the bench on the left. More of what I think. Not start, but come off the bench. I'm excited to see how Mecha is. I'm excited to see Biol, Bornau. I'm excited to see all of our new signings, just see how they play. I would like us to, I mean, I've said this, I would like 2 more signings before the Scum game. I'd like us to bring in at least 2 more. I would like, hopefully we get Sean Longstaff done over the line, because I do want Sean Longstaff. I think it'll be very good for us. I think it'll be good. I don't think he'll start every single game for us, but I think it'll be good for rotation in games, because I think Longstaff will start in some games, depending on what formation we play, the midfield 3, or do we play the 4-2-3-1? I don't know what we're going to play next season. Do you drop that? Do you drop the cam basically into a centre mid? Or are we going to play the cam? We're going to get a number 10. It's one of those. I like JT. He was only saying what people were beginning to think, but they're not right in the comments. Yeah, I do understand people's concerns, but it's one of those things where people's concerns, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I do get worried at times. I do get worried a lot. But then I just think about, like, we do have time. We do have time to get these things over the line, deals done. I do know people say, well, just put the 15 million for Longstaff. Just get the 15 mil straight away and get it done. And people say things like that. I'm like, if you put in 12 million, let's say we start with 12 million, like we did, and it got rejected, right? The third bid got rejected for, what was it, 12 million plus 2? So that got rejected as the third bid. But if that's accepted, we're going to get him for less than what we would if we just said, I'll put the 15 mil straight away. So I understand what the club's doing. It's just one of those things about when you get to the third, when you start getting to the third, fourth bid and they still getting rejected, you're like, just put the extra money in. Like, if it was the first bid or the second bid, I don't think people would be as mad. But when it gets to like the third, fourth, fifth bid, you're like, just put the 15 mil. Yeah, just put the 15 mil in. What else was there to talk about? There's this. Let me just get this up. The next thing is Anton Stach. So Anton Stach, Hoffenheim will demand 20 million for Anton Stach if he leaves the club this summer. Was reported by Bild. Leeds United have recently been linked to the midfielder. We all know about Stach, and he's a player that I would want at Leeds. I do really want Stach at Leeds. I think he'll definitely improve the squad. He'll definitely be a starter. But yeah, they demanding 20 plus million, which I'm fine with. I think that's a good price for him, 20 plus million. I think get the 20 plus million, put it in, get Stach. I think if we do get Stach, right, I think the fan base will calm down, a lot of them. And I'm talking about the ones on Twitter. I think a lot of the fan base will calm down if we do get Stach over the line. But yeah, the thing with Stach is, like, I do have this weird feeling we're not going to get him. I know people aren't going to like this. I have a weird feeling we're not going to get Stach. But he's a player that I would like, and I hope we get him. But he's just a player that I'm like, he's one of those players that you're linked with him, and you're like, as a newly promoted club, will we be able to get him ahead of another club? I've said this, like, what if a Wolves or like a team just further up, like an Everton, come in for him? You're like, he'll probably go there and not Leeds. We need a marquee signing soon. Yeah, we do. Why is it halfway? Sometimes I can't see the comments because my phone's absolutely fucked. We need a marquee keeper soon. Yeah, we do need a goalkeeper soon. I think honestly, because what was it? Nick Pope was the first one, and he doesn't want to leave. So that's great. He doesn't want to leave. Savic is linked with Scum, so I can't. If he goes the scum, I cannot be asked if he goes the scum. That would be the worst if Savage goes the scum. Imagine we're playing scum in the preseason game and they have Savage in net and we got Darlow. The fan base will be absolutely But yeah, I want us to get a signing. I think the thing is the goalkeeper can be last, in my opinion. The goalkeeper can be the last signing. Like he can come like a week before the season starts. It's not like a midfielder or a fullback or a defender or any other position in the outfield areas where they have to get to know the system. It's the goalkeeper. And the way we're looking at this season, in my opinion, about what we're looking for with goalkeepers, we're not looking for a goalkeeper that can pass. We're looking for a keeper that can be a shot stopper. Just save the shots. That's all we're after. We're not after for this keeper that can spray them over the top left and right. We're not trying to, we're just trying to find a keeper that can do the simple thing, make the saves, make the big saves. And Savage for me would be the number one choice. I mean, he's a very good penalty shot stopper as well, which could be massive in the season. You have a good keeper that can save penalties. That's a massive thing in my opinion. And yeah, it's one of those things where we do need that goalkeeper, but that could be last. Like that doesn't bother me. Bother me. We've got 6 or 7 driftwoods to move. Unfortunately, we'll get enough for all of them. Yeah, we got to sell. I mean, I think out of like the young players, Gelhardt will probably get the most money for us. I think Joe Gelhardt will probably get the most money for us, in my opinion. I think we can get like 5-6 million for Gelhardt because I think he actually has promise and he still has ability. In my opinion, he's actually a good footballer, and I think he's very, very underrated. I thought he should have got given a chance at Leeds United instead of Joseph, but people will say something about that. I think he's a better footballer than Joseph, but we'll see in the future. But yeah, I honestly think some of the young, we're going to sell some of the young players. You're going to see a Gelhardt leave. You're going to see a JB leave. You're going to see a Greenwood leave. You're going to see who else. I think we sell Joseph. I honestly do think we sell Joseph before the season starts. I'm trying to think of someone else that would go. We sold Voba. Who else would go? Gruev's one that we could get some good money for. Like not a lot of money, of course, but Gruev's someone we can get some good, decent money for. Because I think Gruev's a good footballer. I think he's a good defensive midfielder. I think he would work in the Premier League for us, but I don't think the club think that because I think the club's gonna be with Ampadu and Tanaka. So I don't think the club's gonna think that would work, but I genuinely think it would work. I think he's a very good footballer. I don't think he gets the credit he did deserve. Like I don't think he's got the credit he's deserved over the last 2 seasons. If you remember the start of the season, this season actually, when we had our starting midfield of Ampadu and Gruev. Gruev was outperforming Ampadu in every single game. Gruev was the better midfielder before everything went wrong and they both got injured. Gruev was the better midfielder. I think he had a better season than Ampadu. I'm not saying he's a better player. I'm just saying he doesn't get really the credit that he should get. They're trying to get 10 million for Grove. Yeah, 10 million for Grove seems right, like 10 to 12 million. I like Grove, but he's one of those players that I won't mind say leave. Like I'm not really attached to players anymore. Besides, I'm still attached to like Bamford and Dan James, and that's probably about it, really. The Bielsa squad really that's why I'm more. I still like Bamford a lot and want him to stay because the Bielsa squad kind of brought the togetherness back to the club and the fans. That kind of is a reason why I like him still. Dan James, I just think, got treated absolutely like shit by the club. And then we got relegated, and the way he spoke after we got relegated, I think it was a preseason game, and the way he spoke about the club and spoke about us trying to get back up into the Premier League, I respected him because I think the club treated him like absolute shit. I don't think we should have sold him the season we got relegated. I think he should have actually stayed. In my opinion, he could have helped to stay up, Dan James, that season. I mean, Marsh didn't want him to go. Marsh didn't even want him to go. So I don't even know why we got rid of him on loan to Fulham. Decent player, but to stay up, I think he's the type. Yeah, we need to improve. I do understand that we do need to improve. I mean, we need to improve every player. Like I see people say you see a player linked, and then I see some people say things like, "Oh, I don't want that player because." What if Tanaka doesn't play, let's say? And I'm like, don't you want competition? If you keep buying players that are better than the current ones, your squad's going to keep getting better. I'm fine if Tanaka's on the bench if the midfielder ahead of him's better. Like, it makes no sense. Some people think, oh, we shouldn't sign him because Tanaka will be on the bench, or Ampadu will be on the bench, or Ramazani will be on the bench. I'm like, don't you want to upgrade the squad? Or do you just want your favourites to play? Do you care about the team or your favourites? It's one of those things where I'm like, even me, Bamford's my favourite player, but I'm like, he should be on the bench. He's not going to start. I think he should come off the bench. I think he's going to be an absolute. I think Bamford next season is going to be an absolute shithouse for us. I think we're good. I think it's going to be great for us. It's going to be an absolute shithouse for like the final 20 minutes of games. Especially ones where we're winning by 1 goal or something, and he can slow down the play, win some free kicks. I think that's what he'll be used for. Just like last season, really, at the end. What's I like Isaac Abraham. Yeah, I do. I do think we're selling Schmidt though. I think Schmidt's leaving. I have a feeling Schmidt's gone. That's another player who I think we're moving on. I think Schmidt's going because it's a World Cup. The World Cup's coming up, and he probably wants game time. And I don't know if he's going to get it at Leeds United. You know, Goodmanson's just come in. I don't think he's going to get the minutes next season that he wants to go to the World Cup, because he probably wants to go to the World Cup, so he needs minutes to be able to get into the squad. That's one of those things where I think we do move him on. Yeah, it's one of those things we need. I think it's for him. Like, it's good for him because he wants to get into the World Cup, which you can't hate a player for wanting to go to the World Cup. And yeah, but the final thing we do have to talk about, the player we have to talk about, and it's Jack Harrison. So Jack Harrison's back in training. There's been pictures of him back in training, which I'm fine with. I do get some people don't like him. I like him. I'm fine with him. I don't think he personally did anything wrong. Like, him personally, I just don't think he did anything wrong. I thought the first season he was very good for us. We'll bring this up. I know he's not done well at Everton, but they've been really defensive, played really defensive, and have been really not great, have they? But if you go back and look at like his performance with Leeds United, let's just see this for a second. I get the impression Fark is going to his players again with like a rotation option. I think we're going to rotate more this season. I think Fark kind of said that already. I'm pretty sure Fark kind of said that already, though, that he's going to rotate more. Which I hope he does. I mean, he needs to rotate more, because the one thing I didn't like is the only time he would change and rotate, in my opinion, was when a player would get injured and then he would rotate. The only way he would switch, like, you look at Solomon, how good Solomon was for us, right? If Ramazani doesn't get injured, so I don't think Solomon plays much at all. I think Solomon gets probably what Ramazani got at the end of the season for the rest. Like, he comes on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that's about it. I think that's what he would have got. So it's one of those things where he does have to improve in that. I think he talked about that, about how he's going to rotate more. With what I've heard, he's going to rotate more. I get the impression not good enough in my opinion, too inconsistent. Used to be my favourite player. Yeah, with Harrison, see, it's for me, if I'm going to look at just Jack Harrison, like, in my opinion, he didn't do anything wrong personally. It was more his mum and what she said. It had nothing to do with Jack Harrison. I think Jack Harrison, look, I mean, that first season, the 8 goals, 8 assists, the 36 appearances, it was great for us in that first season. Probably should have got an England call-up. Maybe a bit kind of robbed to not get an England call-up, as, like, you know, to be in the squad, because I think he deserved it. I think he was pretty good. And then you have the next season, he got 8 goals, 1 assist, so way less assists, he only got 1, but he got 8 goals again. That's what, 8 goals in the first and second season, 35 games with 3 sub appearances. He was always available. That's the thing, he's always available. And then you look at the final season where we got relegated. He got, again, wait, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one, right? The season when we got relegated, he got 5 goals, 7 assists. I get people, I mean, people say hot and cold Harrison, but I've never got that, because he's always performed in a way, like, okay, you look at 5 goals, 7 assists, and people would say that's not that great. But for a team that got relegated, he was one of the only players trying at the end of that season. I mean, that first season, everyone was good. You know, the whole team was good in that first season. That's why we finished 9th. Is there a 4th bid for Longstaff? It's making Leeds look. I don't know. I generally don't know if we're going in for a 4th bid. I've heard both sides. I've heard we're going in for a 4th bid, and then I've heard other things of like Leeds probably going to move on. So I'm not even quite sure what we're going to do. But with Harrison's, like, this is the relegation season, 5 goals, 7 assists. There was some, he was one of our best players, to be honest. It was like him. For me, it was him and Rodrigo. It was him and Rodrigo, and that was about it. I know Sinistera, but he was injury prone. But Harrison, again, 36 appearances, 2 sub appearances. Basically played every single game, always available for us, always performed for us, in my opinion, even though people say hot and cold Harrison. And then, of course, we got relegated. And after those 3 seasons, personally, in my opinion, you deserve to be a Premier League football. You deserve to stay in the Premier League after 3 seasons of consistency, in my opinion. That's the level of a Premier League footballer. So I was fine with Harrison going. And I like how, I think people's narrative changed pretty quick. Because I remember the last game of the season, once it was done in like the first couple of days, or the first week or two, after the season ended, and here I heard people say the words, "Oh, Harrison deserves to play in the Premier League. He deserves to stay in the Premier League. He was good enough to be a Premier League player. I won't be mad if he leaves." And then he leaves and goes on loan, and people just soon switched up straight away and said, "Oh shit, he hates the club. He did." And I'm like, you guys, the same people said he deserved to stay in the Premier League and should be a Premier League footballer because he had 3 consistent seasons for us. And then the people just kind of switched up just because he did go. I mean, I was like, you know what, you deserve to leave. You deserve to play in the Premier League. You're not the reason we got relegated. You were probably doing, you and Rodrigo were the only 2 players that actually tried at the end of that season. I mean, that team were terrible, by the way. I've never noticed, but when Jack Harrison scores a goal, he does this. He doesn't celebrate, like, he doesn't do like a knee slide or anything. He'll just like kind of walk. I mean, yeah, and then you got, like, of course, he left Leeds and went to Everton on loan and stuff, and again, 34 appearances, 10 off the bench, and scoring only 1 goal. This is kind of where it went downhill at Everton. But yeah, even though like it went downhill in that way of like that season, I mean, wait, which season? Where did? But that wasn't. Yeah, he got okay. I didn't see it. I think I just skipped a year. He had 29 appearances and 4 off the bench, 3 goals, 3 assists when he was at Everton the first time, and then, of course, the second time he had 1 goal. But he's always available. That's the one thing about Harrison that I like, always available. I mean, you look at his XG. His XG is, what, 3.5? So it's not even, like, that high, to be honest. Like, he shouldn't have scored many more goals. He's always available. I think he's a good player. I like Harrison. I think he tracks back very well, which I think Farke would like that. That's why I think we might keep him. Because Daniel Farke would like a player like Jack Harrison. He's similar to like Dan James, just not as fast. In the way of he tracks back, he'll always track back for the team, which I really like. You know, he's played 170 games in the Premier League, 21 off the bench, scoring 25 goals and 19 assists. If he'd never played for Leeds, right? If he never played for Leeds, people would want him. People would want him. If he never played for Leeds and you're looking at these stats and what he's done in the Premier League, you'd look at him and say, "Oh, it wouldn't be a bad option." I think that, why is XG 3.5? I think that's a glitch. I think that's glitched over the. Wait, I think that bit's just a bit glitched. Maybe if I refresh this, it will refresh that. No, it won't. Okay, it just says he has an XG at 3. I mean, XG at 3.5 with 25 goals. I mean, wow, what a player! But no, I think he always played like look at that, like having 170 appearances in the Premier League with 25 goals and 19 assists as a winger he's a decent winger. Like, he's not a top winger, of course. He's probably like a mid-table, lower mid-table, which is where we are. We're a team that's battling out in the in the relegation battle, probably with what, Wolves, Brentford. I think will come down there maybe. West Ham's another team that could be there, and you look at that. Harrison has the experience to replace Solomon. Yeah, and that's another thing with. I mean, I think we might get Solomon. I think, but if we do, it would come near the end of the window. I could see us getting Solomon, but that would come more like close to the end of the window, close to the end. Like, that would come like maybe after the season starts. It's one of those late ones because, in my opinion, you can sign the big money names early. Yes, you can. But there's certain players, normally the big, like, just look at Solomon. Those type of players that the club don't know whether to sell or not. The club don't know whether to sell him or not, and they want to see him in pre-season. There's going to be a couple of those players. So I could see us we could be waiting for a couple of players. We could be waiting for a couple of players in that kind of situation of the club that we're looking to sign him from. Don't know what they want. Don't know if they want him or not. They want to see him in pre-season first, and then make their decision. We could see a couple of signings like that after pre-season of like other team. That happens because some teams, like with Solomon. Solomon's the example I give because that's who had us last season, who's probably been linked with, which is one of those players of like the Spurs don't know if they want to keep him or not. And hey, if he doesn't do well in preseason for them or well enough for them in preseason, could come to Leeds. I think because they signed Kudus as well, like Kudus went to Spurs, I honestly think Solomon might be a signing for Leeds, which I'll be happy with. I think he's good enough for the Premier League. I think we have to look at Spurs. You can't look at Spurs and be like, well, he's not going to make the Spurs squad, so why would he play for Leeds? Spurs are a Champions League team. We can't compare ourselves to them. Like, I like Harrison. If Harrison, I could see Harrison staying, us signing Solomon, and then I think, oh god, I think someone else leaves. I mean, I do think we're going to make a big sale. I think we're going to make a sale that's kind of going to shock fans in a way. And I could see that being like a Pirro, which I don't know about that, but I could see it being a Pirro, a Nonto, a Ramazan. I don't think Ramazani will leave, but I could see it being a Ramazani. It depends on the price that a team come in with as well. Like, if a team came in with 25 to 30 million for, say, Ramazani, would we accept that? It's one of the things the club could accept that. I know fans think he's probably worth more than that, even though they haven't seen him that much in the Championship, but they just think he's... and I like him. Jack's capable of having excellent games, but he's also capable of going missing in some. Yeah, he's one of those players that, he's one of those players that can have a great game or like a bad game. But he always puts in 100%. That's what I like about him. I like him as a player because he always puts 100% in. You get certain players. There's certain players when they have a bad game that they just don't try. They don't try and they stop trying. At least if Harrison's having a bad game, he will, even if his crosses are terrible. Like we've been at Leeds, like when he was at Leeds, there was times where this happened. He'll have a game of bad cross after bad cross, but he'll keep going, he'll keep trying, which is what I like about him. He's a player that doesn't stop trying. He'll track back for the defense, which is good, which is something that we need on the wings, especially in the Premier League. That's another reason why I don't know if Nonto will work in the Premier League. I don't think Nonto tracks back. I think he sometimes does, because in the Championship he sometimes tracks back. I'm like, that's what I want you to do. Well done. But then there's other times where Nonto goes, no, I'm not going to track back, and doesn't help the defense. And I'm like, you can't just give up and stop. And there was sometimes where he would stop and walk, and I'm like, go help the defense out, because it's one of those things where in the Premier League, that when we come against a Liverpool and you come in against Mo Salah, help him. Track back and help him, please. I don't think Nonto is guaranteed games every week. No, he's not. I mean, well, what would you... If we sign another left-sided winger, would you say Nonto's challenging... I would say Nonto's challenging Dan James on the right. Because I think Ramazani will be on the left. And just say, okay, Harrison. So you'd have Harrison and Ramazani on the left, and then you have James and Nonto on the right, which... don't know if those wing combinations keep us up in the Premier League. I'm not going to lie. I think Dan James has improved a lot as a player, and I think he's going to start definitely on the. I think Dan James deserves to start, so I think he's going to start on the right. I think he's earned the right to start in the Premier League as our winger, being probably the best player for us. I mean, it was legit probably one of the best players in the Championship. In my opinion, he was the second best. He was a better player than Hamer, who won the award, which we all know was stupid. But I thought Trafford was 1, James was 2. I think that's what a lot of people put anyway. James was 2nd, Trafford 1st, Hamer 3rd. I mean, that's what it should have been. But yeah, I think James will start on the right, and then Nonto will challenge James. And then the left will be like Ramazani and Harrison, maybe Solomon, depending on what happens, of course. But then I would like Harrison, but he's not going to be one of those players where if he does leave, I'm not going to be sad about it, because I'll be like, just... go. You need to go. I have a weird feeling of he needs to go. But then if Harrison does stay, right, and this will happen. If he scores against Everton, everyone will change their mind. I mean, wouldn't that be so Jack Harris? You can picture it, right? You can picture it. Comes back to Leeds. We play Everton on the first day. He scores the winner 1-0. You could picture that. That's written. That's one of those things that's written that he'll do that. But he would score 1 goal and the whole fan base would change. He could have an amazing performance against, let's say he starts. No, let's not say he starts. Let's say he comes off the bench against Everton. I think when he comes off the bench, there'll be a boos around the ground. I think people will boo him in the ground. Not everyone, of course, but there will be a bit of booing in the ground. You'll probably be able to hear it you'll probably be able to hear the boos over the audio if he came on. But then if he scored like the goal to win the game or something, people just change. It only takes one goal. I mean, you just have to look at Nonto. Nonto refused to play for the club, and what happened? He came back, started performing, and people changed their mind. Like, he refused to play. Bielsa had the gift of improving most. Yeah, but Bielsa, you can't yeah, I understand, but Bielsa, you can't compare anyone to Bielsa. No other manager in world football could get Patrick Bamford to be in the England squad scoring 17 goals. No one else could get Luke Ayling being a contention for the England squad and having an amazing season. No one could have Liam Cooper as your Premier League centre-back captain, and I love Cooper. But no other manager could get Liam Cooper as a centre-back captain in the Premier League to finish 9th. That just wouldn't happen anywhere else. And no other manager could do that. Not Pep, not Klopp, not anybody. I don't think any manager in the world could do that, besides Bielsa. But like, Farke's a completely different manager. I think the whole Farke pool is stupid. I mean, when you hear stuff about that, especially on Twitter, oh, Farke has no pool. I'm like, did the pool really work last time? So what did the pool get us last time? Yeah, it got us someone like Rafinha, but it also got us Rodrigo, which cost us 30 million, which, even though he was good in that final season, we overpaid. It got us Koch, Llorente, Rasmus, Brendan Aronson. I mean, the pool last time we were in the Premier League wasn't that great, was it? Especially in that last season, but I mean, we had the chance to. I mean, I look back on that third season, and we had the chance to get out of where we were. We survived on the final day, and then we spent a lot of money on absolute crap. If we spent some money on some good footballers, we probably would have been fine. We had the money to get out of it, but we bought terribly. We bought absolutely terribly. And I like Aronson, but 25 million for Brendan Aronson. Who watched Brendan Aronson and thought, 25 million? Who did that? And I like Brendan. But who looked at him and said, you know what? 25 mil, worth it. Worth it. I mean, I know Bielsa wanted Aronson. I mean, Aronson under Bielsa, I mean, I think that would have worked beautifully because of how much he presses. I think if we had, if Bielsa got Aronson, I think Aronson would have been a way better player. I think Bielsa would have made him a way better player. The pressing would have been out of this world. Oh God, under Bielsa with Brendan Aronson. We have signed people who won't make it simple. What are we up to? Have we? Mecha won't make it. Bornell won't. Mecha's are free. Mecha's are free, so it's fine. Mecha's going to be like a player that barely plays, in my opinion. I don't know much about Mecha, right? But I still think he's behind Bamford and Pirro. I think he's behind both of them. Look, Mecha can play some of the cup games. He can play the Carabao Cup. He can play the FA Cup. He can come on in games when he might be an option in some games. We don't know. It's a free. So for me, he's a free signing. So for me, he's fine to have. Bornell, I don't know much about Bornell as a player. Like, I'm not going to say I watched him before, but it depends what we play. If we play a back three with 3 centre-backs, we do need to upgrade we do need more centre-backs. He's a Voba replacement. Bornell's just a Voba replacement. That's all he is. So he'll be used in some games off the bench. If we play a back 3, he might start, depending on how we play in different games. I'd like us to play like the back, the 3 centre-backs against like a Liverpool and a Man City, like just defend for our lives for a 0-0. But the thing is, like Metch is fine for me. As I said, free transfer. You can't go wrong. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work because it doesn't cost anything. Bornell, I think, will be used depending on what formation we play. Which the way we bought centre backs, right? The way we've bought centre backs so far, it makes me feel like we are going to play the back 5 in certain games. So we're going to have 3 centre backs. It makes me feel like that's what we're going to do. I mean, I don't want to listen to. I saw someone say something like, "Oh, we don't need another left back. We got Pascal Struijk who can play there." No. Pascal Struijk is not playing a left back at all. Even if it's off the bench. No, you're not playing left back. You're not playing left back. Unless we want to go fully defensive and just put 4 centre backs. Just put 4 centre backs. Left back, right back, 2 centre backs. Just put all centre backs. We've all picked a team in school sports. They never gelled. There's an after building a team. Yeah, I mean you can't. The thing is, we can't buy a brand new. You can't buy 11 new players. You know, you got to gel in certain players, which for me is why I want to. I think that's why also people want to see some signings being made because they want to see them used in preseason. They want to see like the team because you're not going to buy 11 new players of a whole new team. I mean, that's kind of what we did in that third season. To be honest, we had Rasmus. You know, you had Rasmus, Aronson, all them. You know, Boba. You know, it kind of was a new team, and they weren't really. You know, they've not played together, most of them. Like, it's good to like have the keep the championship team we had that we just got promoted with, but add to that. So you have your Bogles, who was in that team. You have your Rodons next to him, who was in that team. Okay, you got a new centre back starting in Beal and a new left back starting in Goodmanson. You then got Tanaka and Ampadu, who I don't think will play every game, but two midfielders that could play games. You got James, you got Ramazani, who I think will play games. Nonto, you got Aronson, who will play games. I think Aronson will play some cup games. I think Aronson should start in the cup games. Be used as a sub in the Premier League. You got Pirro, who could start the first game of the season, but honestly, I don't want him to start the first game of the season because I just think he'll be absolutely bullied in the Premier League. You got Bamford. But yeah, the thing with Pirro, I think he's going to get absolutely bullied in the Premier League. I just don't think he's strong enough against Premier League defenders. That's why I can't believe I have to say this still. Bamford's our best striker suited for the Premier League currently. That's why I want us to sign a new number 9. That's legit why I want us to sign a new, because Bamford's the best suited for the Premier League. If I could start anyone right, if we had to play the Premier, start the Premier right now and play Everton, Bamford's starting up top. He has the hold up play. He has the physicality that you need in the Premier League. He has the pressing because Pirro doesn't press. He has the way he opens up space is very good. It's things that you need in the Premier League as a striker. It's not just the finishing. I think Pirro will be used as a player that comes off the bench and hope we got to pray the ball just drops to him, and you got to pray he has his shooting boots on when it does, because you know sometimes it's and then because even in the Championship there was games where Pirro, if he didn't score, well, what did everyone say about his performances when he didn't score? He was invisible. He ghost. He didn't do anything. We said that so many times in games where he didn't score. Like, if he didn't score, he didn't perform. But when he does score, even in some games, he scored. But I would always say his performance wasn't good. He didn't play well, but he scored. So I'm not gonna hammer him because he got the ball in the back of the net, which was part of the reason why we won. But it's one of those things about he does ghosts in a lot of games. Unless he's going to improve that, which I would like to see. You know, he played his best performance came at the end of the season. His best performances came in those final 2 games of the Premier League season, right? The Championship season. Those final 2 games, he linked the play up well. I'm like, where's this been all season? If he continues like that, then yeah, probably I would like to see him start some games. But it just wasn't there for the rest of the season. There was an 8-game stretch of him doing absolutely nothing and being invisible and not scoring. And then, out of nowhere, the final 2 games of the season, he picks the ball up and sprays the ball in behind beautifully, and we scored. Well, look, where's that been all season? Where has that been all season? Like, I just think he's... Yeah, it's one of those things where that's what I want to see more of. I want to see the more of you picking up the ball. I want to see the more of you holding the ball up, coming in closer, like, into the midfield, basically, to receive the ball. Like, do things like that you need to start attacks. We have no quality that won't make it unless we bring players that will work. We have no quality that won't make it. We have no quality that won't make it. What would the quality be in the team? Like, if I'm gonna look at it right now, the quality in the team, like, I wouldn't say Dan James. Like, Dan James, what he does brilliantly, but I wouldn't say he's like, you wouldn't call him like a quality player. You wouldn't call him like a player that he's a player that does the effective thing very well, but he's not a player that you'd be like, oh, Dan James is playing, I want to watch him. You know what I mean? As like if you're a neutral, you don't look at Dan James and be like, oh yeah, I want to watch him. He does well. What he does well, he does well. Like how fast he is and the pace that he has, and his shooting has improved so much. He's improving since we've been in the championship. His shooting has improved so much. But he's not a player you're like, oh, I want to watch him. Ramazani, on the other hand, in my opinion, is a player that you want to as a neutral, you go, yeah, I want to watch him because he's got the skills. He looks like a promising young player and all that. You look at Nonto, I kind of have the same thing, but I think Nonto's kind of, okay. Nonto for me, he was good in the Premier League for about 6 or 7 games in a shit Leeds United. We then got relegated. So we got relegated. Kind of lost that a bit. He just doesn't feel like the same player he was then. I know we kept giving it in the Premier League. I mean, it was just past the Nonto and hope. I mean, that was most of the Premier League. I mean, we're just like, where's Nonto? And I'm like, what are we doing? We're relying on a player who was supposed to be in the under-21s when he first came in, which is mad. He was supposed to be in the under-21s when he first came in, and then he comes into the first team, and we're just giving him the ball every single time. But in the Championship, he's not really performed in the Championship, which so sometimes doesn't correlate. You know, there's certain players that would fit a different league better. So maybe like a Dan James. I like Dan James. Will he do it in the Premier League? We don't know. But I look at players like maybe a Nonto might be good for the Premier League, but not the Championship. Maybe because the style of the game is different in the Premier League than the Championship. You look at strikers. Pirro, in my opinion, very, very good Championship striker, top Championship striker. Can he do it in the Premier League is another question. We don't know. It's a different style as well. So yeah, I look at the squad, and we do need upgrades. I'm hoping we get Longstaff over the line. What do we? So Longstaff, I hope we get over the line. I want us to sign a striker and a number 10 before preseason, but I don't think that's going to happen. I want to see one of them then. I want to see either a number 10 or a striker in before the Scum game, and then hopefully the other one. So if we sign the 10, I want to see the striker then in by the second preseason game against AC Milan. I want to at least see the number 10, a new number 10 and a new number striker, a new number 9 before preseason ends, because I want to see them in preseason. I'm just excited for this. I just want the season to start, to be honest. I like talking about transfers sometimes, but I just want football. I'm bored. I just want Leeds United to start playing football in the Premier League. Have you started left? This. Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy a kit this season. I'll probably buy the 3rd kit if it's what it's been rumored, the black one. I think that's really cool. Because I don't really want to get the home kit. I'm not a massive fan of the home kit. It's not really much different, to be honest. This was the away kit last season, so I might get the 3rd kit, something different. And I think the black kit will look cool, so I'm probably going to get that one if it is. But yeah, not much else to talk about. I'm going to end the stream. Make sure you do subscribe before you head out. Like the stream as well. Yeah, and I might be live tomorrow. Maybe live later, hey. If we make a signing, I might go live. I might make a video and then go live. But yeah, I just hope we get Longstaff, because he's a player that I really want to see at Leeds United. I really want Longstaff at Leeds. But yeah, Longstaff I want at Leeds. Jack Harrison, if he comes back and puts on that shirt and walks on the pitch, I'm gonna support him, because I think that's what a fan should do. No matter what. I know people will boo him in the ground, but for me, no matter what, I don't blame him for. I don't think he did anything wrong. It was more his mum, as you know. I don't really put it on him. He stepped on the pitch in that Leeds shirt. I'm going to support him because he's a Leeds player and I want Leeds to do well. So yeah, if you guys like the stream, please like the stream, subscribe. I'm going to head out and might make a video later, depending on if there's any news. I might go live if there's a signing or something. But yeah, if there is any news later, I'll make a video, probably. How prevalent is it? The team is finalised and bound before the season starts. I think we need the starting 11 needs to be done before the season starts, in my opinion. We need a striker before. I'll say what we need before the season starts. We need a striker before the season starts, a number 10, because I don't know about Aronson. And before the season starts, that's probably about it. I mean, I like Longstaff as well. I think that should be done, hopefully. As long as we get those 3 before the season starts, I'm fine. Because, I mean, for me, the defense is done, but the goalkeeper. Yeah, God, that has to be done. But yeah, as long as those stuff, like I'm fine with some bench options or some people that are going to challenge for a starting position come in after the season start. That's fine, because we got our back line sorted. You know, we got our back line sorted. We got Bogle, we got Bogle, we got Biol, we got Rodon, we got Goodmanson. We got our back line all sorted for the Premier League, all ready to start. That's good. Just get me that goalkeeper. even if we go into the season without a number 9. No, number 9. No, I'd rather us go in without a number 10. I'd rather us go into the season without a number 10 because then we can still play. We can just play the 3-man midfield, or if you want to play Aronson, you play Aronson. But as long as we get most of it done before the season starts, I think it's massive because you look, outfield players. As I said, the goalkeeper can come in late as possible, but the outfield players need to get to know the system. So you'd like them in before preseason so they can get to know the system and how to play. Because sometimes it takes players time to bed in and get to know the system. So if we do sign a player, this is the thing, if we do sign a player, say for 30 million or something, right? And they don't start against Everton, I don't want people to be absolutely mad if they don't start. Maybe they don't have the system nailed down yet of how to play in the system to the best ability. So that's maybe why you don't start them in the first game. So that's a thing that can happen because the players need to get to know the system. The goalkeeper doesn't really need to know anything. He just needs to save the shots. And he's an upgrade of what we got. I think Darlow will be the backup goalkeeper, which I'm fine with. I think we'll try and sell Mez. Yeah, I'm confident next season that will stay up, but it's going to be it's going to be a roller coaster, boys. The season's going to be an absolute roller coaster. That's what I'll tell you. It's going to be an absolute roller coaster.